before we get on to the main content of today's video, just a quick thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel this year. One of my goals for the channel was to get 100 subscribers before 2020. We've actually done that just before Christmas, so I'm absolutely dead chuffed. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. Thank you to everyone that comments and gets involved. It's really appreciated, and it does mean an awful lot. Stay tuned, and there'll be more content similar to this obviously in the future. Without further ado, let's get on with the main portion of the video. Thank you very much. Hello YouTube, and welcome to the channel. Bit of an exciting day today. I've had a package turn up from China. As you'd probably tell from the title of the video, it's a WPL C14. Sort of an early Christmas present for the channel. Never really been that interested in the C series of trucks, but just of late I watched a few videos and it sort of tickled me fancy, especially because it's sort of the old style Toyota Hilux. And at the moment there are some absolutely cracking deals going. Link in the description to the product as ever, but if you shop around you can pick these things up at the moment for peanuts. I don't know if it's because it's before Christmas, they might be even better after Christmas, but I got this one for an absolute song, and there's a link in the description to the product. So without further ado, let's get the plastic off it and see what's inside. Okay, so I've whipped the plastic off. As usual, the box is absolutely mullered. It looks like a rhino sat on it. Just a couple of observations before we crack it open. DDL. Although there's WPL products on the front, and these are obviously WPL trucks, but who are DDL? Anyway, also this made me smile. Counterfeiting not allowed. Has anyone told the Chinese? Go figure. Right, without further ado, let's get it open. This is the first time I've opened it, so you're literally seeing it fresh with me. There's the instructions. Okay, so we have the usual controller, non-proportional, but we knew that anyway. USB battery charger. These look like some stickers and spare parts for the truck. Quite a few actually, you get quite a few. And obviously the truck itself. Alright, let's just get rid of this. That'll go in the recycling, by the way. Now then, obviously the battery and battery tray cover. Now this is the first C14 I've owned. Like I say, I've not been terribly interested in them before, but it's sort of, I've been watching a few videos on YouTube and I thought I'll get one of those if they come up for right money, and it did, so I bought it. What I'm hoping to do with it is basically show you guys what it's like ready to run out of the box. So I'll charge the battery up and we will give it a little run round outside and see what it's like. I've heard these actually out of the box are pretty reasonable, so we'll soon find out. I mean, it's obviously all plastic. The shocks look as though they've just got a spring in them. You know, it's cheap as chips really, but well, it was cheap as chips. I mean, first impressions are that it's a good looking machine. It has grown on me, this Hilux body style. So Well, I don't think I'm going to put any of the accessories on just yet because I'm going to paint the body. I want to do a custom paint job like I have on the other two trucks. And I'm pretty sure these come. Well, I am sure it comes with a 130 motor, but we'll try it bog stock. See what it's like. I've got a spare 180 that I took out of the B14, so it'll probably have that thing shoved up it at some point in the near future. Also, I'll tell you what I have noticed, and this is the first time I've seen this on a WPL truck. I mean, owners of the C14, C24 series might say, oh, they all come with that, but there's actually a little screw that screws through the universal joint into the little bevel gear shaft on the drive train. So that's a neat little feature. I wonder how easy it is to. All you have to do is unscrew that screw and it comes out. We'll soon find out. So let's charge the battery and give it a little run round outside. Okay, while I was waiting for the battery to charge, I had a look around the truck, as you do, and noticed that the rear axle was binding up slightly. So I took it apart and got a rather pleasant surprise, because inside, you can see that there's two metal gears. Now that's the first time I've ever, and I know on some of the new WPL trucks they do come with metal gears, but this is the first truck I've ever owned, either ready to run or in kit form, that have had metal gears inside. They've usually been plastic. And to top it off, they're running on these little brass bushes instead of the plastic washers that you get, and there's virtually no play, so that's good. So that's one less thing, because usually the axles don't last 5 minutes, but these should really last a long time, so that's a pleasant surprise. And if you're wondering, I've solved the axle binding issue by filing down that tiny little bush that fits on the shaft of the little bevel gear that sits inside the axle. I just used a bit of wet and dry, rubbed it on the wet and dry for 5-10 minutes each side, and that's got rid of the binding. So, result. Right then, battery charged up, axle freed off. Let's take it for a rip outside. And before I forget, the control needs two AA batteries, which you have to supply. So without further ado, let's take it outside. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, I've got a spare 180 motor out, the old B1 over there, so I thought I'd quickly nip in the house and replace the 130 and put the 180 in it and see what it's like, and then we could do a bit of a back-to-back test. Right then, well, I've just lost all hope of ever gaining employment in the film industry as a continuity advisor. Actually started painting the body and taking it apart before I finished this video, so it's just in the middle. I'm just in the middle of painting it. Adding some damage here and there, so it's going to have a similar sort of paint job to the B1. Salt chipping, so I'm going to try that again. Okay, in conclusion then, what did I think of the truck? Let's go for a couple of bad points first. First one is power. Although it's probably the most capable ready to run WPL truck I've owned so far, the 130 motor isn't up to much, and when I stuck the 180 in it, it was different again. So that would be the first thing I do. If I got a ready to run one out of the boxes, it wants a 180 motor up it straight away, or even better still, a 260. Make it a lot better. But like I said, it still is the most capable off-road. It's probably down to the weight. It doesn't, compared to the other two, it doesn't really weigh a lot. So that probably goes a long way to helping it. The steering is probably the worst out of the three trucks I've had out of the box. There seems to be no lock, or very little lock, so corners are a little bit of a nightmare, especially when you want to get around a tight corner. But it will have a new servo, electronics. I'll be doing the whole kit and caboodle on it. I've already started obviously with the paint, etc. So that's not really an issue. If you're just going to bomb it round your patio, or a car park somewhere, it's actually pretty good. But off-road, not so good. Good points. This is the first WPL I've had ready to run that seems to have a decent amount of battery life with the stock battery. I didn't charge it between filming with the 130 and 180 motor, and it just showed signs of slowing down at the end. So normally I've had two, and the battery's, the life is abysmal. It doesn't seem to last very long at all. But again, that might be to do with the weight. But the battery in this one, well done WPL. And another good point is it's probably the most capable, like I said before, ready to run WPL out of the box, off-road wise. Even though the steering's a bit crap, it was pretty good. It was okay. Certainly better than the B24 and the B14, B1. So out of the box, this is probably the most capable of the three so far for gentle off-roading. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, another good point was the metal innards in the the axles, which is a pleasant surprise. I've never had a ready to run out the box with the metal parts in the axles, so that was definitely a plus point. Again, well done WPL. A couple of things I have noticed, if I can find the controller now. As I mentioned to you before, on the box was DDL. Now, instead of being badged up as a WPL, it's badged up as a DDL. Any answers on a postcard, please? So whether it's a subsidiary or somebody who makes them under license, I don't know. I mean, I did look at the instructions, and nowhere in the instructions does it mention WPL. But interestingly enough, it does on the stickers it comes with. So, go figure. That's really all we've got to say about it. I mean, like I say, it's getting the full works, electronics, paint, which I'll be doing videos on in the coming weeks and months, so stay tuned for those. There'll be nothing left of this truck by the end of the video. Once again, if you found this content of any interest or use, please hit the like button below, and if you're feeling that way inclined, feel free to subscribe. Once again, thanks guys for all your subscriptions this year. 100 means a lot. There'll be more content, or stay tuned for more content like this in the near future. Once again guys, thank you so much.